Warning, this video contains spoilers for Fate Hollow Ataraxia and discussion of sexual scenarios. Today, me and my boyfriend are going to be discussing our experience of reading the canonical pseudo-sequel to Fate Stay Night, Fate Hollow Ataraxia. This is another Type Moon visual novel, of course. It was released in 2005 for the PC.
The thing that gets me about that is it makes me wonder, so they must have had it in development already during the development of Stay Night.
Like, maybe. Unless, maybe Rialto Newer came out later than Stay Night, I think.
I thought, no, it wasn't Stay Night 2004. Am I crazy?
This was released for the Microsoft Windows and the PlayStation Vita.
Now we're just
double checking when does Fate Stay Night come out. I don't want them to actually mean that Fate Stay Night came out a different year.
No, 2004.
Yeah, 2004. So,
well,
yeah.
it's in January. Yeah.
Yeah. They came out year after each other. I'm here with my boyfriend of the Evil Eye YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, introduce me like that. Don't introduce me as a goblin.
You are a goblin.
I am a goblin, but never mind. Yeah, so I have a bit of a format here for discussing the visual novel.
Yeah. So
I don't know if we'll stick to it perfectly, but
yeah. So this doesn't actually have any adaptations yet, despite characters like Bazette and Karen appearing in Fate Grand Order.
Maybe the cooking show?
The cooking show, yeah. Emiya Gohan is the closest we're going to get to Hollow Ataraxia anime.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh is not in that, so...
kind of. It's kind of.
And
it doesn't really follow the plot. It just kind of is like a little stupid cooking show.
It's just a cooking show, but there's a lot of cooking in this, and slice of life.
So I guess the first thing I have here is that I wanted to bring up the format of Hollow Ataraxia.
Yeah.
It's pretty different to Stay Night and most visual novels.
Yeah, there's only one route.
Yeah, there's only one route, and it's very different. It's not like you're following a set order of events per se.
Yes, there's like a map of Fuyuki that you look at for most of it, and then you just
sort of choose somebody to go talk to.
Yeah, so we'll
in Fuyuki.
Every day it will sort of pop up. There'll be a new character, and it will say this is new, or this is an event that you have to watch.
Yeah. So if it says new, then that's some kind of side event that isn't the main story. Whereas if it's exclamation, it is actually main story progress. So we played it where we were always pressing the new ones, and not pressing the exclamation marks until there were no new things.
Yes, that's kind of... I would probably recommend doing it that way. But we still had to go online and look up how to get various scenes, because some of them will require you to do something again.
It was just one. Yeah. Actually. It was just one. It was like...
the last one. The last two, I think it might have been.
What it was is you could get this one earlier than we did. But the problem is that usually when there's a new scene, it'll say new on something even if you've actually done that thing, if you need to do that scene to get to the new scene.
Yeah.
But in this case it didn't, and I think that's actually an error. It's supposed to say new, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Maybe there was just some problem because there is no official release of this outside of Japan. We had to watch it the way everyone else, we had to play this the way everyone else has to.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The fan translated one.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good translation.
Yes.
I think there was less, repeated phrases that you get in Stay Night.
Yes. There was one scene in Stay Night that I really didn't like, and I kept noticing spelling errors in it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
I'd forgotten about that.
It's like whoever was translating that clearly only had one hand on the keyboard.
I was thinking that. Didn't expect you to say that. Okay, well, yeah, so we'll talk about the basic plot, the premise.
Yes.
So, basically, Shiru is in some kind of time loop that lasts 4 days. In it's in October, isn't it?
Yes, it's after the Holy Grail War, so it's sort of October, November time.
Yeah, and for some reason the Holy Grail War seems to have restarted for unknown reasons.
Yes, and we have a new character, which is Bazette.
Yeah.
She's not in Stay Night because she died off screen.
Yeah, so for some reason she's alive. I'm leaving all of this kind of vague because we're not going to go into what I would consider real spoilers as of yet. I mean, you shouldn't be watching this video at all if you're worried about spoilers for Hollow Ataraxia.
Yes.
This entire video is going to be spoilers for Hollow Ataraxia. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, with that said, there's sort of a lot of mystery to this, and the mysteries sort of get revealed slowly over time while you progress through the story.
Yes. You have an overarching mystery and a lot of slice of life.
Yes, like a lot of slice of life.
Yeah, see, this is considered to be a fan disc, so I think a lot of the slice of life scenes are in there purely to be that kind of, fan service.
So, the thing is, though, when you said fan disc to me, I misunderstood that, because to me a fan disc is like a fan creation, and it's not that. This is like a fan service product.
Yes.
That's probably the best way to describe.
I think that's the best way to describe this, yeah.
But considering that is what it is, I think it's got a lot more to it than I really would have expected.
Yes.
So yeah. What I've got actually here is the next thing to talk about is the hentai scenes.
Okay.
Which is there's the eclipse scenes.
I like that they are optional. I like that they're not part of the story. You just unlock them and you can read them at your leisure.
Well, no, there's one that is in the regular game.
There's one, but that's not the eclipse scene.
Yeah. It's not an eclipse scene, it's just in the game. So there's one hentai scene that's just in the regular game, whereas all the rest are in these eclipse scenes, which are they're in the start menu. There is also one eclipse scene that isn't a hentai scene.
Yes.
And it's shit.
It's
anyway,
shit.
we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that later. Other thing to mention real quick is that there are mini games, a whole bunch of mini games in this.
Yes, I don't think we actually played all of them because some of them were a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't be fucked.
Yeah, some of them were like the clinging onto the big spinning Kinoko Nasu mushroom one was annoying.
That was so annoying. Yeah.
We did the little one where you jump across the river.
Yeah, that was okay.
And we tried the Hanafuda a bit.
Yeah, I did a bit of Hanafuda. It was okay.
There are some mini games that are in the story as well. Like when you first go to Ilia's castle, you have to play like this mini game that gets you to the Ilia castle, and you do have to fight the Berserker.
Yeah, the Berserker is actually in this.
Like I thought that was something made up entirely for Carnival Phantasm, which is great if you're a Fate fan. Go and watch it if you haven't.
This is the real origin of the Berserker.
The Berserker. I was not expecting to see it turn up, and I love it.
I haven't even watched that, and yeah, when the Berserker appeared in this, I thought it was amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of.
There's also a little bit where so some alternate version of Fujini turns up, who's calling herself the Quiz Oni.
Yeah, I was about to mention this.
And you have to do these little quizzes about the novel to progress. Like, you do unlock little things that she gives you that you then use in the main story.
Yeah, because you wouldn't. I don't think it actually affects the main. Maybe it affects the main story.
No, you need it.
Sure.
You get the alcohol from.
Yeah,
her.
you need the alcohol. But then, do you need the alcohol for the main story, or does it just unlock?
I think it might unlock some of the other fan servicey bits.
Yeah,
but like, if you want to 100% the game, you have to do that.
That is true. Yeah. If you actually want to, that's worth mentioning. Actually, if you want to get the actual ending to the game, you do have to do all the scenes in the game.
Yeah, we did 100% the story.
Yeah. And even then, we didn't actually do like all the mini games to their full amount or anything. But it doesn't count that kind of stuff as being necessary.
Yeah, they're there if you want to do them.
Yeah. Okay, so having said that, now we're to talk about things that we liked and things that we didn't like. I'll let you go off first. What things that you liked?
Things I liked. I really liked the mystery of it. I really like that we get to see Bizet as a character. We get the lore and characterization for Angra Mainyu.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go super into spoilers now.
Yeah. I apologize if I swap between calling him Angra Mainyu and Angry Mango. It is second nature for me at this point to just call him that. I really like everything involving him and everything involving Bizet. Karen is interesting. It's like Kirei's daughter. So it's very interesting to learn about her lore, where she comes from, and what she's all about.
Yeah.
I also do just like seeing servants living normal, everyday lives. Just all of the parts where Ku is just fishing are great. Also, child Gilgamesh is in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my son is adorable.
I didn't really care about the kid Gil scenes, personally. I didn't dislike them, but I just didn't really think much of them.
I like the scene where Artoria is playing football with the kids.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I remember that.
Because she's from medieval England,
that feels like a million years ago.
Yeah.
That happens quite early on in the novel.
Yeah.
What I've got listed here is that we get 3 new interesting characters.
Yeah.
Karen, Angra Mainyu, and
Bizet.
Bizet. Yeah, and they're all interesting. They're interesting actual additions to the Fate lore. Yeah, we have very little Shinji.
Yes, that's also very good. I forget that Shinji's in it. He turns up, and at one point he mentioned that he's not in it much.
Yeah, he turns up one time to be annoyed that he's not in the game much.
There's one part where he turns up and it is just a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Yeah, and there was one other time, but I swear it's
I cannot remember what that other time was.
I swear he shows up like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't. There's a weird one where he just comes round to Shiru's place and just hangs out for like an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Then he's barely in the game. That's great.
Yes.
That's the correct amount of Shinji.
Yes.
That's the amount of Shinji that we want.
There's not as much Gilgamesh as I would have liked. Like, he doesn't get many scenes.
He definitely takes a back seat.
Yeah, which is a little bit disappointing. But the scenes he's in, I love the fishing competition scene. Like, I love that you have Gil, Emir, and Ku, and they're all just fishing.
Something else I've got down here that I liked was that there's a lot of metaphysics going on.
Yeah,
because it's like the concept of the time loop itself is interesting in the way that it's explained. I think it must be a little bit lost in translation, but it sounds like it's not that time is actually being reversed, it's that like time is...
These 4 days are just being replayed.
It's being like recreated. The time itself isn't being manipulated, but it's like from everyone's point of view, these days are being recreated for them to live again. But Shiro's the only one who remembers. Yeah, then I put down here that the causality and reality is kind of confusing in a good way.
Yes.
Because it is kind of weird mind-bending shit. And then I've just got down Rin and Karen. This is because they're not in the game at first.
Yes.
They come to Fuyuki, and when they've come to Fuyuki, they suddenly get caught up in the time loop.
Yes, because Rin's away at the clock tower.
Yeah.
And then, so she's sort of mentioned off screen. I think she might turn up a little bit early on, and then she comes back from the clock tower, and she's in the time loop again.
Well, she didn't start off in the time loop.
No.
But once she got into the time loop, she suddenly was like stuck inside it, which was interesting. And same thing happens to Karen, basically. Although, actually, no, was Karen there the whole time?
I think Karen was there the whole time.
But she just wasn't apparent at first.
Yes, she was sort of, she turns up very close to the start. You do see her in the temple.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But also Shiro sort of does see her at the end of every night. Not every night, every 4th night, like the time loop night.
Yeah.
So Karen's there as a part of it. Maybe we just don't notice her as much, because, like, in the early parts.
Well, she doesn't really talk to you.
Yeah.
You just get tiny little bits of information. I've put here just that the game plays with expectations and assumptions. I don't know, do you agree with that? Do you agree?
To some extent, yeah.
I think, sometimes I expect it's going to go in a particular way and then it just doesn't. There's also, you were saying about mystery. I was like, yes, there was a lot of mystery in this.
Yeah.
This is obviously super spoilers at this point, but first of all, we realize we're in a time loop. Because when you first start playing the game, that's not even obvious.
Yes.
You just play the game, you get to the 4th day, and then it just tells you bad end. You're just like, what? What happened? And you don't even know why or anything. And I think, in fact, that repeats again. And we start to put together that we started to go, oh, is this like some sort of time loop where you repeat 4 days over and over? And then you start to realize what's happening. And then once again, super spoilers, we're getting into Bazette is already dead. Because Kirei has already killed her. She kind of is still dead.
Angraminyu is keeping her alive to repeat the 4 days.
Angraminyu is in fact Shiru, kind of.
Yeah, because Angraminyu is in the Grail, it's sort of him granting the wish to continue fighting.
Yeah, so that's really... This is a particularly weird bit. Because I'm not sure entirely how I feel about it. Because we play as Shiru, but it isn't really Shiru. Exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing I was thinking, is like, maybe it is Shiro, but Angraminyu is like possessing him and is able to sort of hide away inside Shiro, except for those times when you can clearly tell it's not Shiro.
Yeah, it's like as the game goes on, more of Angraminyu comes out.
This is one of those things I don't understand when people argue that Shiro is apparently a self-insert protagonist, because I think there is a lot of characterization to Shiro.
Yeah.
But to the point where we could tell when it's not Shiro.
Yeah, we could tell quite easily just from him say... He said one sentence to Karen.
Yeah, I was like, Shiro wouldn't say this.
Yeah, it's sort of strange, yeah. And then also just the fact that the Night 4 monsters that appear, because obviously they're appearing... This is why the 4th day always ends, because... on the 4th day, the Shiru we're playing as gets torn apart by monsters. Yeah. We find out eventually that when that happens, that Shiru becomes one of those monsters as well. That the 4th night monsters are like failed runs.
Yes, of this.
Yeah. But none of this is apparent at first. All of this gets slowly revealed.
Yeah. See, it's one of those things like, so I first discovered Angraminyu when I was playing Fate Grand Order, and I summoned him, and it sees that only 0-star in the game. We were reading Stay Night at the time, but we hadn't got to the part where he is brought up. So it's kind of like, I know what he does, because I have him in Fate Go, and he is fucking useless. If anybody out there can make Angraminyu work in Fate Grand Order, let me know.
So... We're going to talk about the ending later. Just a little thing I wanted to talk about was right at the beginning of the game, you get a cold open.
Yes, and I liked this when I realised what it was.
Yeah.
And I was really confused at first, because it starts off like it's a ghost story, like a completely unrelated story to Fate.
Yeah.
About somebody like in a spooky apartment.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of would... It kind of made me want to read a visual novel like that. Yes. It kind of wanted me to... It made me want to read a ghost story visual novel. Yes. And then it turns out that that's actually a ghost story being told like halfway through the visual novel. Yes. And we don't come back to that until way later. So now we're going to talk about all the side stuff that is irrelevant to the plot. So the track and field team. This is your time. This is your time, Holly.
Right. I hate the track and field team with every fiber of my being. I find them so fucking annoying. They didn't need to be in this visual novel. There is too much of them, and every time they turn up, it goes on too long. They are boring at best and annoying as fuck at worst.
Yeah.
There was a craft essence with the picture of them on in the recent Halloween event, and I was just there like, I'm not fucking buying that. I can't believe they put the fucking track and field team here. It's like them turning up for scenes when Shiro is at school, okay, because it makes sense that, yeah, Shiro interacts with other people at his school who you don't really see in Fate Stay Night, but they shouldn't be in it for as long as they are. I think they would have been better utilized if they had short scenes of them sort of discussing, why has our friend Shiro been acting so weird lately, and trying to sort of come to the rational everyman deduction about what has been happening lately.
We actually got a tiny bit of I think it's Himaru.
Yeah, the one with the grey hair.
She seemed like she was kind of. It looked like she was kind of going in the direction of investigating Shiro and trying to understand the weird happenings that seem to surround him.
And that would have been interesting, but no, she's investigating who's Ayako dating.
Yeah, that was so lame.
That was so fucking lame.
That was the eclipse scene.
Fucking long.
That fucking eclipse
I
scene.
hate that so fucking much. Ayako is in it just enough for her to not be annoying. Ayako has some plot relevance to Stay Night, so it kind of makes sense to have her still be around and see how Medusa reacts to her being there, kind of thing. But, you know, we don't have massive, like, hour-long reading scenes of Ayako just pissing around.
True, yeah. I think that we probably could have had about 5% of what we got from the track and field team.
Yeah.
And it would have been better.
Yeah. They're in it too much. Did anybody like them? Did anybody want there to be more of these characters when they read Fate Stay Night?
I don't know. I really feel like even if you're like what's that genre called of anime, you know, slice of life.
Yeah.
Even if you're a slice of life fan, I'm like, don't you still find these characters boring?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, slice of life. It's kind of.
I mean, Emiya Gohan is a slice of life, and it's not boring.
I haven't watched it.
I mean, I think the few times that I think they are cool is when they interact with servants. Like, they have a scene where they interact with Lancer. They have a scene where they interact with Emiya.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like, Emiya saves the cat from the tree, and then there's that bit where, like, is it Ku who's trying to, like, get a date?
He's trying to pull them.
He's
like, I'm gonna get these free girls.
I assume that they're, like, as old as Shiro.
Yeah, no, they are.
And Ku is just there in his leather pants, like...
To be entirely fair, actually, Ku's not much older.
Yeah, okay, you are the Ku expert.
Dude died when he was, like, 20. So, I mean, you know, I'm just saying he's not that old. He looks older, but he's like, pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of his myth, is this whole thing where he, by choosing to take up arms on this particular day, this druid basically was saying that if you take up arms on this particular day, you are signing yourself up for a short but eventful life.
Yeah, that's what his Bond 10 craft acid says as well.
Yeah.
Q was my first Bond 10 in Fate Go, and I love him a lot.
Alright, so we leave the track and field team in the past.
Good.
Pool scenes.
The swimming pool scenes are quite cute. I think, didn't it imply that Gil owns the swimming pool, or at least Child Gil owns the swimming pool?
Yeah, he owns it. It was kind of weird, but yeah, he apparently...
I'm kind of disappointed we don't see Gil in the swimming pool.
I mean, whatever.
That's just me.
To be honest, I was kind of whatever about most of the pool scenes.
Yeah, I think it's quite cute that King Arthur can't swim, so she has to learn to swim. And seeing Emiya kind of Shiro Emiya go on dates with the girls is kind of nice.
I think, if I'm being honest, I only liked the Rin and the Sakura pool scenes. Yeah. I think the other ones I didn't really care about.
So yeah, I feel like Shiro and Sakura, that is probably my favorite of the couples for Shiro. They definitely feel like they belong together, so it's very nice to see them go on dates.
The Ilya one was really bad. I didn't like that.
See, I would like to see more of Shiro and Ilya being siblings.
Yeah.
So if it was like, if it was kind of like Big Brother is going to babysit and take his little sister to the pool.
Yeah, but it doesn't treat it like that.
Yeah.
I wish it did, but it doesn't.
You do see her maids in the bikinis.
Yeah, that bit was alright. I guess.
Who has the best swimsuit out of all the girls you saw in Day Night? Well, in Hollow Ataraxia, who go to the pool.
I think I remember thinking that Rin's outfit was actually pretty good.
Okay. Not Medusa?
Not really. I preferred her in her servant gear, actually.
Okay, so maid Medusa is not as nice as regular Medusa.
Hey, no, you said swims. You're talking about swimsuit Medusa.
Oh, okay, so
maid Medusa second to servant gear.
You get to see like a bunch of the
So
girls in
weirdly-
maid outfits.
Okay, that's just a little tiny side thing that happens like one time. But
Yeah.
I have to say the weird thing that happened is the best maid outfit was on Saber. I don't know why really, but
I remember you specifically saying this looks like an image that would appear in a doujin that I would make. I don't make doujins, I just write little stories.
you would make doujins.
If I could write and draw, then I would, and they would all feature Artoria getting fucked by Gilgamesh.
That's what I mean. That's what that maid outfit and the way and the pose that she had and her angry face. That's what it looked like. That is the scene that it evoked. We spoke about pool scenes. Anything else to say about that?
I think that's all I have to say about the pool. I'm really disappointed we don't get to see a scene of Gil, Emiya, and Ku just in the pool. I don't know, looking hot in the pool.
Why am I imagining them just like in a hot tub, like smoking cigars? Just like
Look, man, I just need to see Ku Cullen's ass in, like, Speedos.
got here just fishing scenes. That's mostly Ku,
It's
but
mostly just Ku. But it's Ku, sometimes Ku and Emiya, one time Ku, Emiya, and Gil. And Gil just has this little, like, following of kids who really love him, and
Well,
he really likes them.
that was kind of like the ending of the fishing scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because Emiya just starts to show up, he's just made a better fishing rod to just piss Ku off.
Yeah, and
then Gil just comes along to do it even more so.
just with 4 golden fishing rods.
It's just annoying Ku because Ku was just doing this with regular fishing rod.
Yeah.
Just chilling out, smoking cigarettes and getting fish.
Yeah.
It was just a few times where, as Shiryu, you just go and hang out with him and ask him some questions, and he's just fishing.
Yeah. He's living his best life.
I don't think he really is. I think he expressly explains that he's not. He's out there wanting to, do something fun, maybe fight.
Yeah, he could go spearfishing. He'd probably be better at that.
Then here I've got side job scenes.
So we do see Ku working as a flower shop salesman.
Yes.
We see him working in a bar.
Yeah. He's also a waiter.
Oh yeah, the waiter in the bar, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was Medusa's side job?
She was an antique store.
Antique store worker,
at
yes.
one point. And I think she had another job. There are a few little side job scenes.
There was no Ku and Medusa after work romance arc.
I was really disappointed that there's only one scene where they interact.
Yeah.
And it's her chasing him down the street for some reason. I don't even remember the exact interaction, but yeah. It was very minimal. This is the one true shipping.
The one true ship that I think you're the only person who were like,
I just think it goes together so obviously. I'm like, why? No one else? No? Purple and blue? Then I've just got here gag scenes, of which there are a bunch.
yeah. So these are scenes that are there to just sort of be some sort of extended joke.
Yeah, so there were a whole bunch of different Fuji Sensei Oni
Yeah.
scenes.
Oni quiz. The quiz
So
only
the
scene.
quiz.
She turns up in this weird little rainbow wig, making you do the quizzes. And I guess the Get to Ilia's Castle minigame counts as that.
Yes, there was that as well, but I think she did appear some other time.
We had...
Well, I've also got the Borga meme scene.
Yes, we have the scene where Shiro and Rin pull Saber's Ahoge out and she turns into Salter, and the origin of why Saber likes Borgas.
Yeah, I never knew that until...
I love that outfit for Salter as well. It's very cute. That's the kind of outfit that I wish I could wear.
Black, dark dress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have the stuck in the box scene. That was on too long.
That went on way too fucking long. That was annoying.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that had to end with talking magical girl stick, magical girl Rin.
Yeah, that was lame.
I think Rin not understanding technology to the point where she has a mobile phone and doesn't use it is a nice little inclusion. I feel like that kind of really works for her. Her family do old-fashioned magecraft. Why would I need computers when I have magecraft? Doesn't know how to use the phone and everything.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that this is the best way to tell that.
Sure. I think that the first bit, right at the beginning, it's kind of funny, because, Shiro just opens a box and Rin is in there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of she just looks up at you like, it's like, that's kind of funny.
That's kind of funny. That would have been funny as it is, and I don't think that needed to end with Shiro and Rin are trapped in the box, and the only way out of the box is for Rin to become a magical girl.
But then it just becomes really contrived.
Yeah.
Like how it's really contrived that he falls in.
Yeah.
It's really contrived that he doesn't just pull her out. Then it's the whole thing. I'd say it's not exactly. It's pretty contrived with the whole magical girl thing as well. It's stupid.
It's like I do like
it's stupid. I know it's a gag.
Yeah, I like the idea of the whole like, oh yeah, and like one of the like magecraft items in the Tosaka house is this box that like if something is in it you can't get out of it, and Rin fucked up and got herself locked in, so Shiro has to come save her.
Yeah,
and that would have been fine.
Then we have the temple play, which that's what the cold open comes from. But that's kind of.
So we have Rin, Shiro, Issei's older brother, the track and field team, and a bunch of servants who sort of turn up to be different parts, and Rin and
Aiko,
and Aiko as well, and they're having a sort of sleepover at the temple because they're getting ready for the cultural festival, and Rin has sort of prepared a funny play based on different things from Japanese mythology.
Yeah, I think I didn't really get it, but I feel like I'm not getting a lot of references.
I didn't either. I know what Kentaro is, because that's Kintoki, and he's in Fate Go.
I think there's a lot of cultural elements there that we don't really know.
Yeah, it's sort of story elements. I don't really know what story it's supposed to be like a subversion of. But that was a gag scene that was not too bad, I don't think. It was kind of fun.
It was okay. Then afterwards, or was it before? It was at some point during the like staying over the night in the temple, and that's when they start telling ghost stories.
Yes, and that's where we opened.
That's where the cold open is. Yeah.
The way the whole thing starts is a bit odd as well, because we have a scene that's kind of supposed to be a recreation of the Third Holy Grail War, because we see Rin and Sakura with Saber and Salter. It's like very early on, and they're supposed to represent the Edelfelt siblings.
Oh yeah,
and then that whole thing about the Edelfelt twin thing comes back later, because that's how Bazette has this ghost house.
Yeah,
that's a really odd scene.
That is a really
very
weird scene.
Because I think I understand that it's Angra Mainyu, because he was used in the Third Holy Grail War, trying to recreate something he remembers from that war. But it definitely, it feels very odd and out there, and I don't think anything else comes back to recreate the Third Grail War like that.
It does kind of feel like he should have at least like offhandedly explained that at some point or something, because I get what you're saying. Yes. It does kind of make sense, but it's never really explained.
Yeah.
So it does feel kind of strange and out of place. I almost forgot about it, but then you mentioned it, and I thought, oh, what? Yeah, that was weird. It seemed weird and didn't really.
Yes, it seemed really weird. And it kind of.
I sort of thought that was going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's like I feel like I would have liked more of that. Give me Fate -1. That is just the Third Holy Grail War.
Well, we already talked about the mini games that led up to Ilias Castle and the Oni quiz. So anyway, hentai scenes,
okay.
And I've got down here to rate them. Okay,
so shall we rate them in the order that we read them?
I guess if you can remember them. So what was the
first one was Shiro and Saber in the bath, and it's so boring that I have been inspired to actually try and be like, right, I'm gonna go write my own hentai scenes for this character.
I can write better hentai scenes with blackjack and hookers.
Gilgamesh. I don't know if I'm actually going to write hentai scenes, but I'm definitely trying to write little stories about them together.
I do agree that it was pretty. It was very boring. Meh.
At no point in this was I convinced that this woman is aroused and wants to have sex.
She had the smile of a woman that's like humoring somebody.
My penis went in her vagina and it felt good. And I'm just there like...
That's so accurate.
That is it. And I'm just there like...
It's just that scene, that sentence repeated like 50 times.
Yeah, it's there like... Oh, that's fucking boring. Like, this is why I think I could unironically do better. And I've never written a hentai scene in my life.
I'm actually imagining, is it just that they said that in lots of different ways in Japanese, but like it's they're translating it. They just made it basically the same every time.
Yeah, it just said like, wow, that is boring as fuck.
Okay, so then what came afterwards?
What came after that was Rin and Shiro having
that one
floaty magic sex.
So the Rin and Shiro scene in Stay Night was really horrible to watch. It was really painful to watch.
It's realistic, and that's why it's so terrible.
I mean, is it kind of good because it's realistic?
No.
I mean, like, story-wise.
It's like it's realistic, but it's also like I
didn't enjoy it. It's not very nice. It's not.
I'm just there like, fuck, I know how this feels, and I don't like it.
Because it led to this scene in Ataraxia, I do think it makes the whole thing overall a little bit better.
Because they definitely had, like, that was very nice. It was a very romantic scene.
Yeah.
They both were clearly enjoying it. There's
also
little magic-y things involved, which is
magic-y anti-gravity sex happening.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of cool. I do have to say, I found that bit just kind of like, I was like, oh, neat. But, I think it's just satisfying to kind of go, oh, that Rin gets some good sex that isn't like that.
They seem like a really nice couple too.
Yeah.
And then the third one was Hiro and Sakura.
Yes.
Which is kind of, it's fine, is what I think.
Yeah, it was just fine. It was short.
Yeah.
It was short and it was basic.
They feel, like I said, I think those two are the best couple for Shiro, and it did kind of feel like the kind of just, I'm going to have casual sex with my significant other.
If I was rating those first three, and those are more or less, they're the main girls from Stay Night.
Yeah.
I would have put, like, the Saber one was like a D or an E.
Yeah.
The Rin was like a B for me, or maybe a low A.
Yeah.
And then the Sakura was like C or B.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Which I think just being okay, considering it's Sakura, I think is actually kind of bad. Because I think about all the Sakura scenes in Stay Night that are all S tier. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then after that, we had the one that you were the most excited for.
Oh, God, I can't express just how disappointed I was.
Please express to the audience how much you love Medusa.
Medusa is so hot. She just, I mean, I don't know what else do I have to say? Do I have to explain myself? No. So, we don't have any sex scenes with Medusa and Stay Night. Well, actually, there was a Medusa scene in the novel that isn't an eclipse scene, right?
Yes.
Well, it's a sexual scene.
It's the hair washing.
So she's naked and she's like, what's happened? She's done something where she's fucked up and she can't see.
Shiro's helping her take a bath and she's sort of, something's, like, I think her glasses fell off or something, and it's like, oh no, my mystic eyes are potentially quite dangerous.
So she's like accidentally been turning him half to stone.
Yeah.
And that whole scene was meh.
Yeah.
It was okay. It felt to me like it was teasing or like foreplay for the main eclipse scene that was going to come.
Yes.
So the thing is, when the actual eclipse scene comes, I can't express how much I disliked it. I can't express how much I thought it was terrible. What's the first thing? So it's an illusion in which,
like, an illusion, and Sakura and Medusa are both sort of like teasing Shiro, and they're like both sucking his dick, I think. Yeah. And then this whole look, oh, he's crying.
Yeah,
and they're like,
that was so.
Are your eyes crying, or are you using that to refer to his pre-cum?
That was so. That is not my fetish. I cannot express how much that turned me off. The prospect of, like, there's a difference between women like teasing a guy, and then there's like making fun of him for crying while they're having sex with him. What's happening?
Yeah,
no,
it was very weird.
Fuck. And then it reveals that Medusa's been doing this the whole time. It's illusions. He sees through the illusions. And then she becomes super happy.
It's like
Medusa.
It's like, yeah, this whole like, I can understand Sakura not wanting to admit that she wants to be a freak in bed. But I do not believe for a minute that Medusa is ashamed of being a freak in bed.
I don't know how to express to the audience just how disappointed I was. Like, that whole thing going on with Medusa? With Sakura, sure, whatever. Hell, any other girl probably in this entire franchise. Medusa? What the fuck? No. She's big, tall, mommy dommy. That's what she is. I don't understand. What were they thinking? Okay, yeah. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. And then the final one is the one that is in the novel.
S tier.
This is a really weird one because I knew that this was coming at some point, and I was so it's between Karin and Angra Mainyu, and I thought it was going to be like the whole Sakura and Shinji part in Stay Night, where it's uncomfortable and it's supposed to be bad and like not good. But then the hentai music starts playing.
It's just CNC.
Yeah, it's exactly. It is consensual non-consent.
And
it's like dubcon, if you will.
And also, halfway through the actual sex, Angra Mainyu is turning into a shadow demon, and she's into it.
It's really weird.
I don't know what to say.
There's kind of,
it's
I feel like
really hot. I don't know.
It feels like she was expecting him to do this the whole time.
Honestly, it feels like all of the conversations with Karen, because there are a bunch of times where you go to speak with Karen, and there's a bit of a thing where it's like, this is the first time, this is the second time that I've spoken to her, you know. It feels like all of that was just foreplay for this.
Yes.
It really kind of feels like that was all just leading to this. And, yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to be hot. I thought that wasn't supposed to be hot, but it's like, no, this is clearly a H scene.
Do we need to say anything else? Yeah. I think we're kind of good, right?
I'm not even into Angra Mango, but it's like, damn, that was nice.
So I've just got here, anything else we feel like discussing? Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
I'm trying to think, is there anything else we have to discuss?
Maybe I've got here discuss the ending.
Discuss the ending.
Before we want to talk about the ending.
Yes.
Is there anything else we want to bring up? There was stuff with the ghost house.
Yeah.
Which obviously turned out to actually be Bazette's hideout.
It was like Bazette was living in this house, and it turns out this house was here because of the Edelfelts built it when they came here for the Third Holy Grail War. And throughout it, you do sometimes have like quests to go there as Shiro. And you go there and the place is empty. It's known as the ghost house. It's not until like right sort of at the end when you can go there and you sort of realize, oh yeah, this is Bazette's hangout. Like, it's Bazette, it's where Bazette is hiding. Because when you get the parts from Bazette and Angra Mainyu's perspective, they're clearly in that house. But Shiro seems to be unable to perceive that they are there.
Something I would like to bring up is the there were a few. There were dates.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to bother with most of the dates. I just want to talk about the Sakura date.
Yes.
Because the Sakura date was great.
The dates remind me of these.
So I think they were all kind of connected with the pool dates as well. But basically you organize to go and take out each of the girls. I think you take out Saber, Rin, and Sakura.
Yes.
I think there is a day out with Velia as well. Probably.
Yeah.
But the one that really stuck out in my mind was the Sakura one. Okay. Because you take her to Ilya's castle.
Yes.
And you both dress up. And Shiro is dressed up in his suit.
Yes.
And she's in like a princess outfit.
She's got the sort of elegant ball gown. He's got the tux. It's like, wow, Shiro, you upgraded the drip.
And honestly, it's just a great scene.
Yeah, that was really lovely. I think again it ties into, I think they are the best couple.
Yeah, I think that's the best pairing with Shiro.
Yes.
I do think so, yeah. This is why I don't imagine. It's not why I don't have the hots for Shiro going off with Medusa. No, I don't self-insert as Shiro. I self-insert as a Irish man with a big spear. I'm a little bit Irish.
And a fine ass.
Okay, so another thing I actually wanted to talk about was Ili's castle.
Yes.
Because you don't unlock it straight away.
Yeah, it's sort of off it's like off on the outskirts and you can't always go there.
Yeah. And also, and a sort of related thing, right at the beginning of the game, there's something that goes on with Ilya and Rin where they do something with her sword.
Yeah, so it seems like Ilya and Rin are fucking around with the gem sword, which we find out is a thing in Stay Night that does allow for doors to be opened to different timelines
Yes.
or something. I wonder if that is the reason why we sometimes have these little quiz Oni Fujini things.
Yeah, but
Could also be a thing, some timeline rip that has allowed people like Rin to not be in the time loop all the time.
Yes. But also, I think it's actually what sets events in motion.
Yeah.
So it's not, that isn't like the cause of the loop. And I don't think it's the cause of Angerminu either.
Yeah.
But rather, I think it did some kind of causality thing which allowed for Bazette to make a wish before she died. And
Yes.
because of that her wish then created the time loop and Angerminu was able to take advantage of that and everything.
Yes, because I'm thinking, who does win at the end of Stay Night? Because that's one thing with this novel, is it doesn't follow on from any specific route in Fate Stay Night. It seems to follow on from all three.
All of them.
Like, it seems like all three routes could potentially have happened.
Well, this is the thing. We're talking about how, you go to date and have sex with Rin and Sakura and Saber.
Yeah, because in Stay Night, like, depending on which route you follow, you're only dating one of them. It seems like
you're only dating one
all
of them at a time, yeah. But it's like each time loop, the version of Shiru that you are could kind of be considered to be a new one.
Yes.
That doesn't have anything to do with the other ones from your other time loop runs, which is also why you don't get in people's shit lists for just
Yeah,
like
kind of.
I'm imagining there being a scene in which Sakura, Rin, and Saber, maybe Medusa even, are all just like, what the fuck? What's happening?
You do get a few times when Fuji seems to imply Shiro was building a harem with all the women who were coming to live in his house.
The thing is, even if he wasn't dating any of them, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
And in fact, at the end, well, we'll come to the ending. Do you want to come to the ending now? Because I feel like...
yeah, and then maybe we can wrap up some extra. Some little extras as well, is like Kira only appears in, like, flashback.
Yeah, he's in one flashback.
Yeah, I think, aren't there two?
I think it's just...
I don't know, but it seems to be interesting to know the history of him and Bazette kind of knew each other before the whole Grail War thing.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Which is probably what sort of allowed him to be able to get close enough to kill her.
Yes. Because she didn't immediately distrust him.
Yeah.
He basically just walked up and stabbed her and chopped her arm off.
Just to steal Ku, who killed him in the end anyway. In the Blade Works route.
Yes. Who also helps us at one point by helping us beat
Bazette, yeah, Bazette and her sort of special, like, she's a person, but she has like a noble phantasm.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that we put two Irish mythology noble phantasms against each other.
Yeah.
It turns out them both doing that to each other results in them both dying. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, well, so are we happy to go on to
sort of discuss the ending? Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, well, basically, there's this like stairway into it's almost a stairway into heaven.
Yeah, it's a stairway into like this black moon.
Yeah, but the moon is the Grail.
Yeah,
that's what's actually
going the Grail.
On.
Yeah,
it's the Grail. In fact, lots of times during the novel, the moon is just black. And it seems like Shiro just doesn't acknowledge it.
Yeah, and then you sort of do.
But basically, oh fuck me! Do you remember? So, you're just trying to get up there, and it sounds like other versions of you from different time loops have been trying to get up there before as well.
Yes.
But of Shiru / Angry Minu, it's kind of complicated, have all been trying to get up there, up the stairwell, but have been stopped and killed by the monsters. On the actual ending, everyone comes out, like everyone comes out.
That's a really cool scene. You get all the servants.
They all just go to town on these monsters.
I love the part where you see Kid Gil age himself up and he's topless and he's got his little red tattoos out. And I like that that's probably where that comes from as well.
I like that we get like Shadow Sakura and Medusa just fucking destroying everything. Medea's just blasting everything with her ancient magic.
I think does Herc turn up?
Yeah, it looks like it actually looks like Sakura and Medusa are about to like lose and get killed by monsters, and then just blasting through walls. Heracles with Ilya just holding onto his neck. Being wildly swung around.
Ilya's angry babysit.
They just come in and just fucking destroy them. Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Obviously, what's Kazumi?
Kazuki and Medea's wife.
Yeah, Kazuki's just fucking. Kazuki's there with
Medea, and then Sasaki.
And Sasaki
is the samurai.
They're just like, I imagine they're just at each other's backs. Both just like chopping them down, punching them to death. Actually, that's something I want to mention before we get fully into the ending, is the bit about Kazuki. We get more of his backstory.
Yeah, the sort of assassin cult that he was raised in.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I love seeing his relationship with Medea. Like she deserves love and she's got a good husband.
Anyone else that showed up at the ending to Rin does. Rin and Emiya do.
Yeah.
They'd like team up again. Emiya's not in this much, but when he does show up, it's significant.
Yeah, like there are so many times when we were trying to get over the bridge, and it's just they're like,
oh yeah,
Emiya is there, and you die.
Yeah, that fucker! I forgot about that. He just stops you from going over the bridge for like the first part of the game.
Yeah,
just fucking kills you until you manage to beat him. God damn it! Forgot about that. So much happens in this.
Yes,
a lot of stuff happens. So they're all basically distracting the monsters, and you manage to leg it into the actual Grail, where Bazette is.
Yes.
And I mean, there's basically a back and forth there. Bazette refuses to die, because basically if they end the time loop, and she's just going to die. But then Angry Minu, being the absolute cock that he is, just explains that, oh yeah, I mean, well, Karen's actually healed your wounds ages ago, so you're not going to die. Like, fucking...
I think he was doing this so that he could stay alive.
Yeah, he this is the thing, is that he's going to stop existing once the time loop is stopped.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of this not real thing, he's just this void entity. So he's just going to go back to being the void.
The backstory about where he comes from is quite sad.
I mean, kind of.
And I'm glad that we get to see that.
Yeah, we get, like, about what he was and where he comes from, sort of, but at the same time, he's not exactly that person.
Yeah, he's kind of like that person, but actually now turned into Angry Minu somewhat.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's kind of, instead of just being, I almost thought we were just going to get a kind of sad, dark ending.
Yeah.
And that's not what we got. Instead, it was this bittersweet ending, in which Angry Minu goes back to being nothing, and Bazette is alive.
Yeah, it was like the final scene that we got to. Bazette is alive in Shiro's house.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that then.
Yeah.
This sort of epilogue. Basically, everyone's okay. Time loop has stopped. I guess Shiro's explained everything, at least, or everyone's basically in the know about what's happened. And then just Bazette shows up. She's got this new arm that's like Angry Minu powered.
She's asking Karen, give me back who?
No, that comes later. That comes later.
Yeah.
So she just asks to live in Shiru's house because she doesn't have anywhere to live and she doesn't want to go back to the association, which makes sense.
Shiro should just open up a hotel.
But then Karen comes along to do the same thing. Karen and Bazette have like a bit of an argument in which Karen wants to take her arm away because it's a demon arm and she's very anti-demon. And Bazette wants Cuchulainn back because why
wouldn't you want Cuchulainn, you know?
I mean, it was also originally her servant, so yeah.
Yes.
We do get a little bit of a scene in which we see that there was a short time where they had interacted before Kiri had killed her, and she definitely had the hots for him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was it that deep voice and the really long arms?
No, I did. Well, yeah, she did
oh.
kind of seem to have the hots for a bit for Kiri, but I meant she definitely had the hots for Ku.
Yeah, it's just that, like, she saw that button, was like, damn.
So yeah, Karen also asks to just stay in with Shiru as well, and it just kind of ends when she asks that.
Yeah.
She asks because she doesn't want to go back to the church, I guess.
I think so. I don't think she was a part of. Was she a part of the Holy Church as the organization?
Well, it sounds like she's renegade at this point.
Yeah.
She was, but like, I don't know. It sounds like she ran away and decided to come to Fuyuki off her own back.
And she's now just hunting demons on her own. Karen's backstory is sad.
She doesn't explain it like it's sad. She seems pretty chill about the whole thing.
Yes.
She seems to be kind of like, yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. I approach demons and then they burst out from my body. But this actually leads me into something. This is definitely side topic, I guess. Because we basically explained the ending and everything that happens. I was saying, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a series or a movie or something that followed on from this, in which it's just all those characters as like some sort of different organization of like, mages or maguses, are doing their own shit. I'm just imagining imagine the Magic Association come after them because they're like, these people are too powerful, we need to get rid of them.
Yeah, we need to get rid of I think it's like, would the servants also be there?
Yeah, I'm like imagining this timeline wise is like 5 years afterwards or something. Oh yeah,
because Karen is also technically the master of Gil and Ku.
I might have suggested that there'd be some sort of agreement reached between Karen and Bizet. Not exactly sure what, but yeah. Maybe this, right? So hear me out. Bizet agrees to have her arm taken away, but gets Ku. And Emiya Shiru, he makes her a mechanical arm that he's empowered with magic. Just imagine this anime series I'm describing to you.
Yeah, because I was going to say, we have... So the thing with Emiya Gohan is, it does have, like, a lot of these characters. But the thing that I don't like about Emiya Gohan is that it lacks any of the intrigue that is there with Fate. So I think, like, what you're describing is something that would actually have the intrigue in Fate. There's like, a potential, like, theoretical continuation of the Hollow Ataraxia timeline.
Yeah, I'm sort of saying, imagine they become kind of their own organization. I think it could be kind of cool. I think it could be cool. I'd also prefer if it was aged up, so it's like a decade in the future or something.
You could have Waver turn up to, like, investigate them too.
Yeah, you could have that. Sure. You could have lots of things happen.
I have tried to watch Case Files twice, and I get bored like halfway through every time.
Maybe I'll give it a go.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it with you. I'm not going to talk about Case Files here.
Okay. Well, with that said, is there anything else?
I feel like that's it for now. Like, overall, I think if you enjoyed Fate Stay Night, then you would probably enjoy reading Fate Hollow Ataraxia.
Yeah.
I would recommend doing that. Like, I've known some people who've read this and not enjoyed it, but they haven't read Fate Stay Night first. And I think you need to have...
That's absolute insanity to me.
It's like...
I don't understand.
And I mean, like, not even, like, the Fate animes. I think you have to have read Fate Stay Night to read this and enjoy this.
I really feel like you have to have read the Fate Stay Night visual novel in order to enjoy Hollow Ataraxia.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you possibly could... I mean, imagine you're sitting down, I'm going to read a Fate visual novel. I'm going to read the sequel to the Fate visual novel instead of just the original Fate visual novel.
Yes.
What possessed someone to do that?
Yeah, I don't see why you do that. It's like, okay, I think, because the Dean anime is not a good adaptation of the Fate route, and I think you need to know the Fate route, the Unlimited Blade Works route, and the Hollow Ataraxia route to appreciate this and understand parts of this and understand these characters. So, yeah, if you like Stay Night, then read this. If you didn't like Stay Night, then don't.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about that, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're about done for this, so thank you for watching. Hello there. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and maybe you could follow me on Twitch for more content that I make more often. And please continue to enjoy the rest of your day. If you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons and other nerdy hobbies, then maybe you would like to subscribe to Evil Eye on YouTube.